Hi everyone, now I'm going to be tying a fly called the Grey Ghost. Now this is number 5 in the list of the Kingsmill moor flies. This is one I haven't tied before. It's a good pattern. Now this is my version. Now I'll put a picture up of the dressing from the book and you'll see, I've got the book here, he mentions having a dyed feather. It says a dyed Irish grey cock, much the colour of a pale blue dun, and the west iridescent hackle, dyed partly coloured red, yellow and green. Now I'm going to be using this to represent that. I know it doesn't look much like, but see, the natural red is the brown, the yellow is the dye I used, which is a golden olive. Now what happens with the grey, that mix, you get a green hue coming off it, and this feather, this has a wee touch of grey in it, and it throws the green or the olive, and that goes with this fly. It's absolutely spot on for this fly. So I'm going to be tying it. So it is a nice pattern, it's a really nice colour. I mean, it's something that I would happily fish in any size, but no, I'm going to be, these are all size 10s I'm tying. And for mayfly and for duns coming off, like olives, to be tied in the right size, this would be a great colour combination. So anyway, same hook I'm using, and full the set. I'm sticking to this old hook. It's 3399. It's an old mustard size 10. I got asked where I got them. I actually got them off eBay, so I did quite a few years ago. So they're quite hard to find, that box anyway. But you can use any hook. Just use any of the, even a fully mill competition heavyweight size 10 would be ideal. It's a kind of modern version of this hook really. So anyway, what I'm going to do is work my way down until I'm in basically line with the barb of the hook, which is there. Now it's a golden pheasant crest for the tail, so I'm going to get a couple of feathers. These are actually not too bad, these. Quite nice. I quite like a heavy tail. So we've got 2 feathers here. We've got a wee orangey tip on them. Tail length, so looking around about the body length. I'll be shy with it in this size. So a wee turn underneath just to lock it in. And a couple on the top. That'll do it. That's fine. I'm happy with that. The rib of the fly is a small, in this case silver. Now there is ostrich herald. It says as a I think it says as a tag, just a wee back to the book here, tag is black ostrich herald. Now I'm going to put it basically, obviously just slightly further up here just to tidy things. The ostrich herald, you could put a wee bit of black dubbin or wool. There's some old patterns I used to get, or have a look at anyway, and they actually used wool. So they just dubbed it on and it gave it a very soft fibre. But basically these were put on to tidy up areas, and especially salmon flies. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just looking for a good feather. But the herald just works into the tail a wee bit. It's quite nice actually. So I'm just going to bare some of the fibre. I'm just going to catch it. Just go in here. Now make sure you wax your thread. If you want this to stay on, the wax does help. But you can put a wee bit of varnish in there. First I'm going to make sure it's going to sit right. Now you can fold it like a hackle. You can draw it back just like that. Now it's going to sit back. So what I'm going to do here, just to give it a wee bit more protection. Though these are going to be for framing really. Tiny wee bit of, could be varnish. Years ago it was shellac, which is a type of varnish it was used in practically a lot of things. Now just wind on some. Now you can go a tad further up depending how thick you want it, because you can always come over the top with the dressing. So it's going to give that a second to dry. Quite a long fibre in this, but it's quite nice. Just give it a second and then you can draw it back. What we'll do is we'll got tidy things. Now stop about 2 head lengths away from the eye, and the way back down, just tie in the oval silver tinsel. Now I'm just going to come down a wee bit further than drawing back these fibres. Just a wee bit. Now this would be a good salmon fly tied in a double or anything like that, single anyway. A nice old pattern. Now, good sub. Now monkey. Now I've seen monkey. It was used in classic salmon flies. Now they looked like exactly like this, but this is possum. That's all this is possum. Just grab a bunch of it, blend it within your fingers. Now if I had to show that to someone, unless they really knew what monkey was, they would think it was monkey. So it's a great sub. So if you're looking for a sub and tying your classic salmon flies, and there is 1 or 2 flies out there that's got monkey on it, you can use this. So possum's a great sub. So just dub the body, and it's a great dubbing. This a good, well, possum's a good dry fly dubbing, so it floats really well. You see, give yourself plenty of room for your hackles. Now I've got one of the hackles from the dyed neck, and I'm going to use this natural dun, this one. This is just from a normal everyday grey hen or chicken, cockbird. With both feathers together, just come down to the area we want to tie them in. Just trim the stems to make sure you've got enough to tie it onto the hook. Sure you've got wax down, and then tie it on. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now, in the last video I used this cable connector. Basically, I got it off Amazon, but I usually just hold the feathers and wind by hand. But some people are struggling a wee bit. Now this is, when you're winding 2 hackles, this is a great wee thing to use. The Mark Pettijohn, I'm sure he has a pair of hackle pliers that do hold the same. So we do a turn at the top, start to work our way down. There's 2 turns. Come up into the 3rd turn in this case. I usually bring a straight turn round with the rib. Into that 3rd turn, I bring the rib up beside it, catch it on. And then we just rub the body. There we go. It's into about 5 turns or so. Just going to take this off just now. Now before we bring through the rib here and on top, just draw back any hackle fibres first. Then bring a thread up beside it, put a 90-degree bend into the rib so it locks it in. Good half dozen turns or so, trim away your tinsel. Just rub the end out with your nail, it flattens it. Then you want a good base of thread down for your, it's a teal I'm going to be using, but in the book it says you can actually use grey partridge if you want. Now before I do that, I'll just trim away this. Trim away the feathers there. It's a great blend of colour, it's a lovely fly. Now it's going to basically locate the tip of this feather with the hackle pliers, just draw back the tip, and make sure you wax your thread. Now, I think I've got enough of the feather there. Sometimes I could be too close to the tip. We'll find out if it breaks, it means I'm too close. Then fold the hackle fibres back, and then we just do good, nice straight turns. Anything going forward, just draw it back. There's a couple of hackle fibre caught here. Take your time. You've got a nice hackle if you just take your time winding through. couple here that's caught. The teal feather especially wants to roll on you, so when you're happy, just catch it in. 3 or 4 turns. The stem's there, so just draw it back and build the head up. Just keeping the thread tight, clip finish. Makes it, if you let the hackle, the bobbin holder go, it's amazing the number of slack turns that throws into the dressing. Especially the head area, and you don't want that. And there's the stem. Let's bring it out. Trim away. Just bring out your fibres here. There you go. There we are. That's the grey ghost. Or slightly my version of the grey ghost anyway. Mainly, there's only difference is the hackle. The body hackle, the mix. But this mix of the natural red, the dyed yellow, and the olive hue of it, and especially with the grey and the yellow and the natural feather, gives you a nice olive light look. You can see it there. It's a great fly, lovely pattern. So there we go. That's the, as I say, the grey ghost. It's just worth tying in different sizes, but this will work for if you're tying a bigger hook, for salmon as much as sea trout, and for brown trout. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and again, thanks for watching.